What's going on, everybody? It's Core here, and today I'm finally here to talk about Need for Speed 2021. So this is going to be the first in a pretty elaborate series of videos on things I think will happen with Need for Speed 2021, things I want to happen, what can we expect, and so on. I'm not going to milk it like some other people do in this community, but I'm just going to make a few videos expressing my thoughts on the whole thing and what I think is going to happen with the next game. And in today's video, I'm here to talk about the map. So the setting, the world, the way it's going to play out, and the way we want it to play out. Specifically, I want it to play out. So in order to understand what I'm going to talk about in today's video, we need to take a look at Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. So that's the gameplay you're watching in the background right now. That game was also made by Criterion. Say what you will about Most Wanted 2012, I personally love it. I think it's a great game. Sure, the Need for Speed branding is a little bit out of place, but as a game, it's very, very good and a lot of fun to play. Although we could do without the crash cameras in the next game, Criterion, please. So, the map for Need for Speed 2021. For a while now, in terms of the world, the Need for Speed community has always had similar requests, and not gonna lie, in 2015 I had similar requests as well, so you know how it goes. Big city area, vistas, mountain roads for drifting, stuff like that. And that's all fine, and I would love to see those things appear again in the next game. But I think there's something more important than that I need to touch upon. Let me explain what I'm going to talk about by asking you the following question. When was the last time you heard somebody say, "Remember when we had so much fun blasting through the desert in Need for Speed Payback?" You haven't heard that before because no one has said it, because Need for Speed Payback's map is crap. But I'm pretty sure that you've heard, "Remember when we took down the pursuit breaker in the stadium to evade the police in Most Wanted 2005? The point I'm trying to make here is that Need for Speed 2021's map, above anything else, needs to be memorable. So basically, the Need for Speed 2021 map needs to be set up in a way that you play the game for the first time, you have a lot of fun, and then when you come back to it a while later, you're driving through an area of the map and you're like, "Oh yeah, remember when I went here with my friends and it was a lot of fun." So that's what I'm trying to get at here. So stuff like landmarks and play areas, for example. And for that, we're using Most Wanted 2012 as an example again. I have had so much fun, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well, I've had so much fun driving and jumping around on the beltway in like the center of the map. You know what I'm talking about, the two glass structures that are intertwined. That was an awesome area of Most Wanted 2012's map. There's also the airport. I know it was a total scumbag deal that the airport was on the disc and we just waited for the DLC to come out. But the airport was epic fun, and there was not a bad area in Most Wanted 2012's map. It's probably time for me to say that I think Most Wanted 2012's map, Fairhaven, is the best in Need for Speed history. And we don't even have to use Need for Speed as an example. We can go back to another Criterion-made game, Burnout Paradise. Paradise City, in my opinion, is one of the best open-world racing game maps of all time. So there's not a bad area in that map as well. And then there was, of course, Big Surf Island, and everyone who played Burnout Paradise as a kid always tells me, "Yeah, I had so much fun on Big Surf Island doing the challenges and the free burn stuff with friends." That's what needs to happen with the next Need for Speed map. It doesn't matter what they do with it, or the setting, or if it's in Japan, which it won't be, or the United States or Europe or whatever. It doesn't matter what it will have, as long as it's fun and it's enjoyable to do. Because it's not fun blasting through a wasteland desert for 15 minutes while listening to Tyler clamor about stupid bullshit like we'd have to do in Payback, or we had to do in Payback rather. And as for the other Ghost Need for Speed games, 2015, it was alright. City area was not that well done, which sucks because that was the whole point of the game. And as far as Heat goes, Heat's map is pretty good, but it's not memorable. I don't really, it's just not that cool or interesting, or as I said, memorable. You don't really go to an area in Need for Speed Heat and say, "Oh yeah, we had a lot of fun here," or "I had a lot of fun here." Well, as far as Heat goes, you can't say we had fun because it doesn't even have proper multiplayer. But that's what has to happen with the Need for Speed 2021 map. And another thing as well, it shouldn't have to be all that open. I was talking about this with my friend Carlos on Twitter the other day. I will put a link to his Twitter in the description below. But he says, and I agree with him on this, he brought this up, he says that the world doesn't need to be as open as it is currently, because that way the developers have more opportunities to create vistas. So areas that you can drive up to and there's a beautiful view of the world. The world requires it to be closed off more. So not like Forza Horizon 2 on the Xbox 360 closed off, but relatively mildly closed off to allow for much prettier scenery. Because that way, when you don't have that many drivable areas, you can use more of the memory to create a more detailed world. So yeah, that's about what I have to say about Need for Speed 2021's map. All I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what they do with the map as long as it's memorable and fun to drive around in. That's what's the most important thing. If this was 2015 right now, or 2016, I would be asking for mountain roads, a city area, so on and so forth. But right now, because we're not in a state where we can ask for features of that caliber for Need for Speed, because at this point all we want is a polished game, I just think that the map, I don't care what they do with it, it just has to be fun, memorable, and nicely detailed. So that would be about it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter, there will be a link in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.